Welcome to the Matrix / Christmas special. We're going to be looking at the Matrix Resurrections, but of most importance, why the current world calls for a critique of modern digital technology dependency. There's going to be a lot of juicy stuff on this one, so sit back, enjoy, and of course, feel free to like and subscribe. So Matrix Resurrections, in a real quick nutshell, is the fourth installment of the original 3 films, but ultimately it was the first one that was the classic. The other 2 making it a trilogy were decent, but more commercial than anything else. As you might know, Matrix is about a man being stuck in a simulation of reality, but actually is in a dystopian future unbeknownst to him and the rest of humanity, being used by machines for energy. It was an action classic and an allegory for humans being too dependent on digital technology even back in '99. As the magnificent 21st century progressed,
Camera film, the autograph of the 21st century.
The film seemed to be more and more potent with each passing year. Keanu Reeves' character being offered the blue pill or the red pill. Blue meaning stay in the Matrix, i.e. the simulation of reality as one of the sheeple, or take the red pill and break free of the Matrix, which is now being used as an analogy for men breaking away from the matrix of marriage and male codependency for modern emancipated women, etc, etc, etc.
We men are tired.
First one was great. The other 2, not bad. And then there's this one.
Some part of you remembered what was real.
Now, with the current climate of COVID-19 lockdowns and social media zombie culture, of course, a film that is an allegory for people living isolated, atomized lives addicted to technology is necessary.
Are you on Instagram?
The only problem is that alone won't make a decent picture. It doesn't matter there's no Lawrence Fishburne returning as Morpheus, or Reeves with his beard and long hair is getting on in years. A good movie is a good movie, but this, I'm afraid to say, isn't very good. The time for another Matrix is now, but the 4th installment felt disengaging, unsure of itself, and its narrative was a bit incomprehensible, just like some of my script is a little bit incomprehensible. Granted, there was some interesting themes, but ultimately it doesn't matter how meta and philosophical the subtext may be, the execution was horrid. The baddie Matrix put Neo back in his simulation chamber and wiped his memory. Yeah, maybe just kill him, or... Then 6 years later, another team come back to remind him he used to be awesome, so he can track down Trinity, also with a wiped memory, remind her also to go and punch, kick and shoot computer simulations of secret agents. The ideas may have been there, but the execution, like her singing voice. And with that being said, this extremely in-depth, non-spoiler review of The Matrix Resurrections will have to make way for the more juicy stuff. But with that being said...
If he says that being said one more time.
The original had Joe Pantoliano before he played Ralphie on The Sopranos.
Ignorance is bliss.
His character killed off in the first, so he weren't coming back, was he? But do you know what was worse than Ralphie from The Sopranos not coming back? Katarina from Heartbreak High not coming back.
You have just earned yourself a Thursday detention.
Thanks, sir. I just love detention.
It'll be fun. I promise.
The brat who dumped rubbish all over Mr. Southgate's desk.
Out!
Is that good enough?
Out!
What are you gonna do, hit me?
What is it with you? We will be discussing the...
You see, before there was too much internet, we'd go to school, we couldn't check stuff online, so therefore we'd have a big debate. Is it saying funk to the music or vong diggity music? Those debates in science class, where we would not learn a thing in class, but we would debate and debate and debate to the point of almost fisticuffs. The technology of today has taken away passionate debate because you can check everything at the tip of your phone. When you can't look at the internet for everything on your phone, one's left to wonder. One's creative juices are left to permeate. However, all of that is now no more due to beautiful technology. Hence, The Matrix as an allegory for what we're now going to focus on, generations of digital natives, i.e. the Gen Z, being socially limited, to put it mildly. Yes. Less curious, more incurious. Yeah. And the elite of this lot being able to carve out a simulation of reality for themselves that doesn't correspond with their original reality whatsoever. The one, the only, not Kylie Minogue, Kylie Jenner.
Please, Kylie! Kylie! Don't let me
The delusional self-entitlement of a girl who looks like a chav from Glasgow. Anyone can be anything. Why look like a from Glasgow when you can look like your half Armenian cousin. You were an average looking kid at best. You weren't good looking. You start to get plastic surgery. Straight away you want to trademark the name Kylie for your stupid cosmetic line. The delusional nature of these younger generations. She wanted to trademark the name Kylie, but kid, who are you? Kylie Minogue's been in the game way before you were born. I exist and everyone else are just inanimate objects. This is the consequence of this stupid, individualistic, aided by digital technology era that we're living in. This is where we're at right now as a species. People getting hippopotamus, chicken drumstick, poo-poo bum-bums. And then taking pictures on the internet and then becoming massive stars. Incredible. And then you've got a fake talented version of that.
I love how democratizing the internet is.
Emily Ratajkowski, who looks like a gorgeous version of Angelica Houston in The Witches. Witches!
Witches?
I mean, naturally she's more talented than Kylie Jenner, but who isn't, right? Point about her is, she wants to have it both ways. On the one hand, she wants to get half naked on the internet and get a big name for herself as like one of the sexiest chicks out there. Then on the other hand, she wants to start doing this pseudo-intellectual stuff and talking about how, oh, I'm subjected as a body, you know, and I had to do this because of the industry, because of society. It's not my fault. Like, bruv, what are you on about? She scratches the surface of intellectualism. All she does is say, my argument is...
And my argument is, what's wrong with attention?
Because she says, my argument is, it sounds like, oh, she has an intellectual argument. Bloody hell. She's gorgeous and she's got a brain. No.
I love how democratizing the internet is.
What women can get out of online dating versus men, the inequality is so vast between the two, it's more inequality than most countries' economies.
I love how...
No. So check this out, folks. It is Christmas, it's the time of giving, so guess what? I'm gonna give you something positive. Yes, the new Matrix film sucks, I'm sorry to say, but check this out though. On a positive note, if you want 2021 sci-fi, Superman and Lois.
The world will always need Superman. Right now, this family needs you more.
Superman and Lois.
I thought the Superman genre was played out. I thought, how do you expect me to take seriously something where no one knows that Superman's Clark Kent just because he takes his glasses off? Bruv, anyone would look at him and be like, I swear that's Clark Kent with blue leggings and a red cape and red underpants.
Who are you?
But if you watch this show, it's got the family dynamic. They move from Metropolis back to Smallville. Lois and Clark have already had 2 kids. One kid was the stud back in Metropolis, the other kid was the dork. Then when they get to Smallville, it turns out the dorky kid now has certain superpowers and he starts becoming the stud because of these superpowers. And the brother that was the stud now turns into the disenfranchised one. That corresponds with reality incredibly. When I was growing up, there were kids that were bullies in primary school. Then come secondary school, they were timid dweebs. Every year, your circumstances change and you can't keep up with that change. In the era of rubbish sci-fi, my recommendation is Superman and Lois. It's got the family dynamic. So when Clark Kent goes off as Superman, there's other things going off, so you're distracted and not just focusing on, oh what, because he takes his glasses off and puts a stupid fetish costume on, I'm supposed to forget who he is. It's Christmas, innit? So you gotta have a good time at the end of the day, yeah? If you've made it to the end of this, well, you're a special type of person, aren't you? Feel free to like and subscribe. Feel free to have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
There's this whole thing, this attention accusation, that we're just doing it for attention. And my argument is, what's wrong with attention?
Ignorance is bliss.